Very good. Hello again. This is like Groundhog Day, right, Nancy Jean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so. Oh, here they are. I'm sorry. I got them down here and I got to get them in here. Oops. Well, let me get there. Oh, and Sharon Lee is coming too. Oh, what's wrong?
Well, we have to represent Canada for sure.
Absolutely.
Where do you live in Canada?
I'm in Ontario, Canada.
My parents were from London.
Oh, lovely.
Cool.
Look at all these lovely ladies. This is wonderful.
Awesome.
I know it. It's great.
Oh, there we go. Do I have time to put on some mascara or taking it the way I am?
You know, you can do whatever you want. Nancy Jean's pulled a card for this whole entire thing to start off, so you have plenty of time, Sharon. But I want to say hello to Valerie and to Sharon and to Claudia. And I just told everybody that Claudia and Kelly, of course, Kelly has her own channel, so she's done this before, but you know, this is a fun apprentice style stuff, you know?
Absolutely.
Why not, right? And everybody knows it. Kathleen, do you know Valerie and Sharon and Claudia?
Well, I know Sharon.
Okay, I'm sure you do. Yes.
Sorry, who said that?
I did. Oh, it was Kathleen.
Oh, Kathleen. Okay, yes.
You know Kathleen. Yeah.
Yes.
Valerie doesn't have her microphone on.
Oh, yeah, Valerie, your microphone's not on.
Oh, yeah, it says mute.
Let me see if I can do it. I'll try to do it. Unmute you. Here you go, Valerie. I got it. Oh, I can't.
No, there she is.
Okay.
Try to talk, Valerie.
Hello, ladies.
All right.
Hi, Valerie. I don't think I've met Valerie.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Yes. How are
Valerie
you?
opened her own channel, UCU.
I
Changed it to
changed it. Illumination Portal.
Illumination Portal.
Oh, cool.
Nobody could find UCU. I thought it was easier.
They thought it was a school. Yeah.
Yeah, university. UCU, University of what? Colorado or
California.
It's actually an African university on there. It's
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I can't remember which name it is now.
Oh, all right. Well, I was thinking that Sherry might join us too. Sherry Swamp Lady, you know. And she might. So we're going to go with it. We're going to do whatever needs to be done to have some fun. Thank you, everybody, for being here and supporting us all in this new adventure. And so
I didn't realize we were live.
Oh, so you want to you can do this.
I want to put my mascara on. You know what?
Okay.
It's okay. I'll be a feminist today.
Sharon and I have not met, but I watched her so constantly on the channel.
Okay.
It feels like we have. Yeah, but we have never met face to face.
Yeah.
Or online to online, seeing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Sharon and Kelly Dozen Cats are Canadian sisters.
Yay! I got the red on for the Canadians.
Nice job.
All right.
Allie, Sharon looks fantastic in the color red.
Doesn't
I
she?
think personally.
Yes, she does.
And so does Kathleen. Yeah. Look we got a lot of red women here. Good.
Yeah.
So let's start off.
no, it's burnt orange. It's burnt orange
it's
for
orange?
the autumnal holidays. Yeah, burnt orange.
Okay.
Ooh.
Very good. Well, so we're going to start out. Nancy Jane pulled a card. She wants to set the tone, and that's wonderful. So she is the most respected elder in this women's group.
I'm the most respected elder everywhere.
Everywhere.
Anyway.
Wow.
And that's fine. You know, I read a woman and I thought, oh, well, you're kind of in my generation. She was 3 years older than I was, and I was amazed. She's in great shape.
Wow.
But she's one of the few people I've spoken to recently who's older than me. What I pull is I have this deck of cards, and they're oracle cards, and they're, we can get it out of the glare, crystal reading cards. And if you want to learn about crystals and kind of the ins and outs and the divas and the energies and stuff, it's a great deck. And it's a beautifully done deck. And the woman who did it's Australian.
All right.
That's the
Tons
stone.
keys.
Okay, Sharon Lee went away. It's called Cooperite. And Cooperite, it looks purpley in this card, and I've seen other pictures that looks purpley, but if you look right in the center, there's a deep red. And it is the feminine aspect of the crystal hematite, which is an incredible grounding crystal. And it stands for your base or sacral, the base or the sacral chakra, the root and the sacral chakra, or what it works with. It holds, it's was used in the countries that have it for medicine, energy, guiding you through the process of transformation and healing, which I think is really important considering what we're talking about today. It invites you to sit with your pain and stop running from your fears and to face it and to move on. It supports exploring the shadow self, healing the deep issues, provides access to sacred ancient knowledge of the feminine. It supports and holds you as you enter into the void, which is always fun. Always nice to know something's out there. Supports you to feel like you belong here on the earth.
And we need that right now.
We need that right now. And this book talks about the divas that exist within crystals. And it says, you've attracted this card today because you are entering into a powerful time of rites of passage as a deep honoring of the soul and to live in a balanced, harmonious existence. It's essential that throughout these specific times of your life, you are showered with sacred initiations and moments of celebration. I think we're all into the looking at my pain and, oh, I'm going to be initiated, but I don't think we celebrate when we get through stuff nearly as often.
Absolutely true.
In honoring this and the recognition, it's a better recognition of our soul. You receive deep knowing, respect, and love for your own self. That's what this stone's about.
That is so wonderful.
The rites are very important for the soul's journey, so it can assist you in seeing your path in life. It puts light out ahead of you. And whether you're experiencing the loss of a loved one, the ending or beginning of relationships, entering into a new phase of your life, know that this sacred and important time initiation is part of your soul's journey. Step lightly and stay open to transport yourself at the potent time.
Wow. Beautiful.
Yeah. What
And-
was the crystal reading cards? Who was the author again?
Raquel, Rachelle, Charman, Charman.
Okay.
Thanks, Nancy Jean.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a piece of cuprite before? I don't think I have.
I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a cheap stone.
Oh, well,
It's not in the cabinet behind me, or I would pull one out. I could have pulled out a piece of hematite, but hematite just looks like a black stone, and this is what they call the red hematite, which means it has the basic crystalline structure of hematite, but it's got the iron in it that will make it red.
okay.
Oh, I've seen.
Well, when you were saying about the divas, go ahead, Kathleen.
Oh, I was watching. Oh, I can't remember what I was watching, but there was one that it was a very expensive stone, but it was the same makeup, only it was green, and it came out of the ground clear, but it has iron in it, and it immediately within hours started darkening, and I was just amazed, and I cannot imagine like clear hematite or clear, to see that
Change.
go from yes.
Well,
I would
opals,
just be,
opals that come out of Africa, of certain parts of Africa, they don't opalize until you put them in water.
Wow.
oh,
That's the difference between the old boulders, the kind of opal that's in Australia, and stuff that's in Africa. And there's also to be very careful with your colored stones. Rose quartz will fade in the sun. Amethyst will completely fade in the sun. It'll go to clear. The
Really?
sunlight will, it'll pull out, it'll leach out the color.
bleach
So
it.
when you get a stone, if you really like it and you want to know the best way, spend 5 minutes Googling care and feeding of this stone, because
There you go.
it's awful for someone to have something that's lovely and then they turn around and it's changed color. But yes, crystals do amazing things.
Yes, they
There you
do.
go.
Yes.
Oh, so Isadora says that she pulls a card from that crystal deck every day. So,
Aw.
yeah, that's awesome. So, ladies, I want to tell you what Kathleen and Sophie, who couldn't make it today, who is called Bright Opal, she has her channel as Bright Opal. We got together, well, we got together in an email and we hashed this whole idea out that we wanted to do this. And then, of course, she couldn't come this time, and hopefully she can again. But we had a lot of different things that we wanted to do, to talk about and to share with women. And I didn't want to keep Ron out of it because I love Ron, and I didn't want him to feel bad because usually they all read together. But I said this was going to be more of a woman's show. And so, Kathleen, do you want to speak to some of the things that we talked about so the ladies can know, or what direction we might want to start?
Yeah, we were thinking about famous or infamous or women who in history are strong, have done things like Eleanor Roosevelt. You know, she was beneficial in the workplace rights, and she was part of the movement to get women the vote. And we were wanting to address some issues today, but from their perspective, from to either through mediumship readings, through tarot readings, through something, but their
Oracles.
perspective on the world as it is today. You know, throughout history, there have been some very strong leadership that was women, female.
Yeah. Not just Eleanor, not just Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Let's see. I mean, of course, RBG, but you know, even older women that started things. But we also wanted to look into, and you know, basically through the cards or whatever, we wanted to look into how we can empower others, how we can look at jobs and how women are treated, let's say, in that kind of thing, or the equality. And really what the impetus of this whole thing was the upset with the Texas abortion thing that started all this again. We thought, you know, just when you think you've moved along, you know, there's something that stops you up a bit. But, you know, I certainly welcome any Canadian women that you want to bring in that we may not know about, because that's important as well as anybody. I mean, we could even do Margaret Thatcher as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't really matter because it's, you know,
or just a feminine perspective on world issues. I mean, you know, that's, you know.
Well, one thing I know about Canadians, because I was raised by two of them, that in Quebec they have the reverence for the first mothers. Those were the French women who came. I think Americans don't know anything about this, but they couldn't get. Well, first of all, I've been to Quebec in the winter, and I wouldn't go there. But the first mothers were a bunch of women who came over from France and kind of almost arranged marriage. Well, they were arranged, obviously, because they're dragging them across an ocean. And those women are revered. I can't think of any group of women in America, in the U.S., the states, they're revered like that. And I always kind of thought that was, my mom told me about it when I was little. She was Irish Scottish, but she said, yeah, they kind of, you know, they paid attention to what happened with women over there. And you know, we don't have those mechanisms. It's just not an innate part of the.
No, like Betsy Ross, maybe, and Dolly Madison, somebody like that, maybe. But also the Native Americans always revere the grandmothers as the wise women, and actually they made all the decisions for the warriors, I believe. And I would imagine that would be both sides.
Right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Matriarchy used to be globally how things went, and there's very few matriarchies still active and persistent at this time, but that used to be the norm.
Yes.
matriarchies.
In the Irish, like Celtic, it was the matriarch. In fact, in my family, coming from an Irish Catholic family, and my grandmothers on both sides came over, from the UK, with their parents. So it was my great grandparents on both sides that came over to Canada. But what I want to say is the matriarchs in my family are very, very strong women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
They're-
leaving
they're
a
the ones
place
that held-
behind.
Yeah, they're the ones that held. I mean, and generations. I guess each generation learned from the one behind it, but yeah, they very strong, and it really they were the glue that kept the family together.
Mhm.
The husband, went out and
Went out to work. Right.
to work, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. But she was the boss, and
Yeah.
also if you didn't get a a great husband, they were out at the bar. So
Right.
the matriarch had to keep things together. But yeah, very strong matriarchal influence for me.
Before the Roman Church was accepted by the Celtic Orthodox Church, there was it happened at a thing in 1100. It was called the
Right.
Conference at Whitby, and the Celtic Orthodox Church, which was more prominent across Britain and especially in Ireland, those women could be judges. There were abbesses that ran large, huge church complexes. Abbots and the monasteries and the nunneries were all in one huge chunk. Of course, when the Roman Catholic Church came in, they allowed the married priests from the Orthodox Church and the married women that were officers in their church till they died, and then they went into that weird, bizarre pattern they have now.
So weird.
But when people were casting off all these rights, all these things, privileges that women had fought for to be able to be judges and lawyers and stuff, the thing they argued most about, the most paperwork they can find from Whitby, was where would the tonsure be? Would it be on the top of the head or the back of the head?
Oh.
So apparently, church dogma and ideology and triviality was really great back then too.
I want to say too that when Allie had mentioned about women in America, we know that American history has been whitewashed and man-washed. So, and I'll give an example. I mean, nobody knew about these remarkable mathematicians. Not nobody, but most people didn't know about it until the movie came out, right? And we find out not only were women integral in getting us to the moon, but women of color were. So I think as we embrace critical race theory, as we embrace truth in history, we're going to find a lot more women were critical to a lot of inventions and historical occurrences.
Oh boy.
Everybody froze. Is everybody frozen?
I'm
went
here. I'm
White
okay.
women,
I'm
Okay.
okay.
It's Claudia.
not just white women, but women of every color and background.
Yeah.
I agree. So maybe our first question for the oracles, the tarot, whatever way you want to read it, could be, is there any advice we can get from our own personal female ancestors that so we may get very different advice from from your grandmothers and great grandmothers or whatever, or any ancestors that you have, to give us as a tool or a message. How would that sound? Would that sound like a good one to start with?
Okay, could you tell me the
I
question
will.
again?
So what you're asking for is your own matriarchal ancestors, if they have a message for us as women that we can get.
Okay, matriarchal ancestors. You mean like our direct line, like our bloodline?
Yeah, you can if you want, or you can ask anybody. You can ask
Your soul constellation, the people who stand behind you and behind you and behind you.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a female older friend that was an aunt, that's passed.
Okay.
You don't have to necessarily know. It's just from one of your ancestors or.
I got the Queen of Cups first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what do you think that tells us?
To lead with our heart. And I think women always do. And we're the strong ones, usually in the families, just like
Yeah.
everyone was pointing out. But our recognition is isolated in the home. Oh,
Mhm.
it's just been the last 30 years that women have been
Out in the
fully
workforce.
accepted in the workplace, and
Yeah.
we still don't get paid the same amount as men even now.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you have a state job.
There you go. Yeah, the government and the state. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good
But
union job.
mostly we don't. We're a lot of the things you were talking about just now about the inventions were stolen from women, and
Right.
those women would try to fight it, but it was such a man's world. They'd be silenced. So
Who invented the cotton gin? Does anybody know?
Well, Eli Whitney was
I
supposed
thought
to
it was
it.
Credited
Yeah.
for it. Credited
It
for it.
was his cousin.
Okay.
And
Right.
the same thing with DNA. It was a woman who went to those two and said,
Mhm.
"Hey, there's this helix thing," and she's mentioned in like one paper, and then she disappears.
yeah.
Well, the same thing happened in literature because
Yeah.
with who is it that had to have a man's name? Had to take a man's name. Mary
Right.
Ann George Eliot. That's who it is.
George Eliot. Yeah.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
on the
Well,
bottom, I
there's
got
a
the Five of Pentacles, which
Okay.
keeps us out in the cold. We're out in the cold still, even now. And
Yep.
then I got the High Priestess. So, yeah. Oh, we're the
Okay.
psychic ones. I mean, not saying men aren't psychic, but I don't think they're as in touch with their intuition and their feelings.
They don't listen to their gut as much.
Yeah.
May I go next?
Yes, Sharon. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got the tarot, the golden. I think it's the golden tarot. It's anyways, it's got lovely artwork. The energy is what they're trying to tell us is we have to work together as women. This is the Three of Pentacles.
Yeah.
We need to work together, and a lot of times we are our own worst enemies, where we work against each other.
Yeah.
How women can
very
be really,
true.
really catty and backstabbing and that sort of thing, and that kind of stuff has to stop.
It does.
Yes,
I don't surround myself with those kind of women, but they're there. I mean, I see them in my job as well. And that, yes, lead from the heart, the Queen of Cups.
that's crazy. That's so awesome.
And the King of Cups. And I think the message there, and I was thinking about this all day, is it doesn't mean we have to denigrate men. We don't, they've done awful things. They still
Right.
do. But we need to lead the way and teach them. And lead the way. And I think that's what the Two of Wands is telling me there.
Okay.
I know we're battle weary. This has gone on for thousands of years. The Nine of Wands. But we have to be creative and continue the fight. Here's the Queen of Wands. And I think if we do that, we treat each other as equals. We don't do that backstabbing, catty, bitchy stuff.
Right.
Then I think we'll have more celebrations as women together. This is the Three of Cups. And I think this is the old guard behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
And,
have to say that's what this whole collab is right this minute,
right.
and I just love
Exactly.
it. Thank you all.
Exactly.
And I wanted to say too that the very best thing that we could do for ourselves and for others is to lead by example.
Yes.
Not just talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Yeah.
Lead in your example with love and acceptance and positive energy and that momentum, because we can't change other people. We can't.
Right.
But we can be living examples of what we want. And when you show that to the world, the people who are ready for that are going to resonate with that and be like, oh. And so the greatest example that you could have is you.
Good.
Right. At least once a year. I mean, I'm retired now, and I'm a retired teacher. I retired in 2019.
What did you teach?
Oh, I've taught anywhere from grade 2 to grade 10, a lot in special ed and learning assistance kind of, resource teacher
Awesome.
kind of thing.
Oh,
But the
Love
last
that.
sort of 17 or 18 years was in the classroom, where I wasn't pulling kids out, but I was a classroom teacher. And it was because I had to go back into the classroom because here in BC, British Columbia, Canada, there was awful cuts back in 2002. They just stripped our contract, the government.
Wow.
And
Aren't you guys unionized though as teachers?
oh yes, but they still stripped the contract.
How,
They did it
how did
anyway.
they do that
It took-
legally?
It took us 15 years to get it
Oh
back.
my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah. So, anyways, in that they cut all the cut to the bone the special needs services and that sort of thing. So that's how it ended up in the classroom. But it was the best thing for me because I used all the tools I knew to help all the kids, not only the special needs kids. And one of the things I did was I didn't do it overtly. I would just, well, no, that's not true. But I would do things. I would try to be a living example. For example, I would at least bring my motorcycle to school at least once or twice a year.
There you go.
For the kids, yeah, for the
Mama.
kids to see it. I mean, and the boys loved the girls. Wow, and I would say to them,
Very empowering.
very
Yeah.
empowering. And I would say to them, look, if an old broad like I didn't say it like that, but if an old lady like me can ride a motorcycle, you guys, you can do anything, especially you girls. You can do anything you want.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So I would do that kind of stuff.
Yep.
and that's beautiful. The teachers do. I see teachers help putting that confidence into the children. The sad part is when they get out into the workforce,
Yes.
it's a man's world.
Right.
And if
It
you
is.
don't act like this, you don't get this promotion. You don't get that, whatever,
Yeah.
And people feel they have to comply to make a living.
Yeah.
And it's funny that I caught Allie's show this morning, and that she was doing this, and I decided, yes, I want to be part of it. Do you know what I just finished watching? Binge watched the first season, and now I'm up to the current episode of the second season. Is the morning show?
Oh, I have not seen that. Okay.
Oh my God.
Gotta watch it.
Got to watch it. In fact, I'm going to kick off my own channel with that discussion. I mean, there are lots of things that are taken to the extreme in that show, but not far off for sure.
Okay.
Right.
And who's seen it? Have you seen it, Nancy Jean?
I've seen it. I've seen a bit of it because I used to work in broadcasting.
Exactly. Well,
So a friend's mine said, watch it. And sometimes when you've worked in something that's a little too close,
yes,
because we actually had a live TV news show every night.
right, right.
I hadn't seen the other one with Jeff Daniels. I wanted to watch that old one where he was in a broadcast studio, wasn't he? Wasn't he a broadcaster? It was, I don't even, news night, or I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
the one that I watched years and years ago, and this is how long ago it was when Al Franken was not yet a senator and was still doing comedy, and he did a show, and it was so hard for him. They did a show where someone got up and they eulogized some famous actor as if he died, and it ended. They were in Washington D.C., so they were covering all this, and the next week, that's exactly what happened. Someone got up and eulogized Bob Hope, and he hadn't died yet. And Al Franken said, it's so hard to do satire when they're doing newsroom. That's it.
That's it. Newsroom. Yeah.
Newsroom.
Wow.
And I had the whole tape of it, and we actually have a VCR of it because my youngest, it's a disc maybe. My youngest son loved it. He's now 31. He was a kid at the time. And I ran an event Al Franken was at, and he signed it for me. He goes, where the hell did you even find this, But, yeah.
Well, I'm going to check into it, Sharon. I'm going to see it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. In fact, I'd love you guys to come on my show. I think that's what I want to start off with.
That would be awesome.
But if the show was like watching an awful train wreck or
You can't take your eyes off.
It's you think, oh, these people, oh my God, they're just awful. But it's awful. But at the same time, they bring up so many things that just were triggers for me.
Sure.
And I couldn't stop watching it, even though I hated what they were doing. They were backstabbing the whole thing. I couldn't stop watching it.
Uh-huh.
So,
So you got your fill of that there?
sorry?
So you got your fill of backstabbing for a while?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watch
Yeah.
that.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it in.
Well, if you
my job
taught
too.
school, when I taught school 1 year, that's the hardest job in the world. I would never do it again.
It is.
But it was really, really difficult. But I was one of 3 women teachers in an all male school.
Oh wow.
And people say, about how women are catty. Oh, that was the worst place I ever lived in for
Yeah.
cattiness.
Yeah.
And
Men
the
can be very bad.
Men
Yeah.
are catty too.
Do you have a name yet, Sharon, for your show?
Oh gosh, I
Not
haven't.
yet?
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning towards a very simple name because I want to. I mean, sure, I'll be like you guys today. We're having a serious discussion, but we pulled some cards, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm not leaving the tarot behind.
No. Yeah.
No, but it will be more.
Different.
It'll
Sure.
be different. I don't know, something like Simply Sharon. I don't know.
Oh, I like that.
That's nice.
That's nice.
There you go.
That's
You like
neat.
that?
Well-
Does that resonate?
Mhm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
All
good.
right.
Easy to remember.
Let's Claudia have her. Now, Claudia wants us to be reminded that she's an apprentice, but I'm not worried. So you'll pick something right.
apprentice?
There you go.
Okay, so I was supposed to pull a card.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm sorry.
No,
No, she didn't
Okay,
get
so what I'm using, this was the very first deck that somebody gave me out of the blue, like 15, 20 years ago. I had never even talked about owning an oracle deck or a tarot deck. And so it was a surprise. And I'm like, what made you decide to give this to me? She said, because I think you'd be really good at it. And I'm like, really? And she says, oh, yeah. And so anyway, it's the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards by Doreen Virtue.
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yes, they're a great deck. Yes.
Before she lost her mind.
Yeah, don't lose that deck. Yeah, those
Yeah.
are collector items now.
Those are they're collector's items.
This
Yeah.
is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Why
I've
is
got.
that?
Because she didn't want to sell them anymore. She
Yeah, she made him
Yeah.
take her name off
Yeah.
everything it had.
Yeah.
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 So if you've got a Doreen Virtue, I gave a friend of mine a Doreen Virtue that she'd done with Radley Valentine, and she
Yeah.
said, "You know how much this deck's worth?" And I said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
No,
I-
how
I've
much
got
was
it.
for it?
Hmm?
How much was it
40.
for it?
40, 50 for now, but more
Oh
probably.
no,
later.
no!
No, more than
They're
that?
400 now.
Wow.
Wow.
Last time I looked at, I inherited a deck from my mother, and I forget what it's called now, but it's one with all the angels and things like
Yeah.
that. And I guess it was an angel oracle deck. But the last time I looked on Amazon was $150. But I'm sure it's more now because that was like
A while ago.
8 months ago.
Mhm.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
You know, and connected to that, I actually went to many years ago a workshop and reading with her ex-husband, who is Dr. Stephen D. Farmer, and I have his Power Animal Oracle cards, which
Oh, wow. Okay.
he signed for me. Oops.
Wow.
So pretty neat. Okay, so the card that I pulled is Coventina Purification. Let's see. Can you? There's a glare.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
Can you see her?
Yeah.
Sure
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, really beautiful. Coventina Purification. It's time for a cleansing detoxification of your body and mind. Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that the
It really is. And
Oh, yes, it is.
I feel like we're going through this massive upheaval, this massive change. A lot of people are uncomfortable and discombobulated, and don't know if they're coming or going and stuff. And change can be very difficult. Positive change can be difficult, just like negative change can be. Do you want me to read what Doreen said about Coventina?
You don't have to, or you can. It's totally up to you. Yeah.
I don't know if I actually can.
Okay.
This message comes as a help and not as an affront or criticism. Your vessel has become clogged by overuse of harsh chemicals, and the offending source is within your psyche. You've You've been ignoring your body's many signals and screams for relief from the steady ingestion of impurities. Perhaps you've also noticed a slump in your energy level. Yes, I have. And your degree of joy has lagged as well. Never mind these past effects, though, as the solution is right at hand right now. Now that you've heard this message, do not hesitate for even a moment to make new arrangements. You'll want to keep a sharp focus on the contents of your mind and speech as well, for the words you think and speak are the very diet that supports or thwarts you. Choose purity, and I promise you a changed outlook for the better. And so she says that the various meanings of this card are follow your intuition's guidance about making lifestyle changes, which I definitely need to do, that is for sure. Stop abusing alcohol or drugs. Avoid processed foods such as sugar, white flour, and so on. Eat more organic foods. Keep your thoughts and speech positive. Adopt a vegetarian or vegan diet. Go on a fast or detox diet. It says this card can also be a validation that your current healthful path is working. I could read about who Coventina is if you want me to, or not.
I guess no, we want to make sure everybody can get their card in. Yeah. But I do want to say when you first started reading it, and the word was detox, that there's a few of the ladies here that are close to my age. And with me, it was the mercury feelings that I was worried about in my tea.
Too much tuna. Oh,
no, well, no, yeah, it's fillings. It's the, that's what the dentist filled our teeth with.
Yeah.
And,
you can have those removed. I did.
I know.
Mm-hmm. We have the eclipse coming up on the 19th. That's a good time to do a detox.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Yeah. All right, Kelly, it's your turn.
Oh, my turn. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go last because I think I have.
You want to tie it all up? Okay.
Yeah, I think I.
All right.
I think I pulled a really good card.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'll go. I have two cards. I have one here. It says surrender to wonder and awe.
Mm-hmm.
And it says use the magic of every moment. The attitude will keep you connected to the ecstasy of flow, which is one of my favorite things. And look at Maple spirit is generosity. And I think that women can be very generous with each other. And that, I'm getting that from my ancestors, that there's, and that's exactly what was being said before about the toxicity of cattiness and so forth. So I think empowering each other, finding a way to work together to achieve goals is very uplifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kathleen, how about you?
Okay. Well, first I've got the Queen of Pentacles, and she is the Queen of Earth. So, being grounded, a powerful healer, strength in family and community is at her core. This is the Five of Wands. We have to stop tearing down women. We have to stop doing that. And, if we shored women up, then, if other women did that all consistently, we would get so much further. Diplomacy, knowing when to push and when to, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
That's right.
That is key to doing that. But my own grandma that I asked, my great grandma, was Choctaw. So
okay.
And make a community, make a strong foundation so that where you can go to, who you can contact to further your whatever your needs are. You have that community to take care of it, because what's the saying? It takes a village to raise a child. Well, anything that is important like raising a child, requires that
Community.
same dedication, you know. And
Yeah.
finally, we have the King of Pentacles as well. And, you know,
King and Queen
a
again.
warm, yeah, a warm, you know, a warm, confident leader, time to level it up, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
patience, abundance, determination. You know, we need all those things to step
We do.
forward. And then I pulled a oracle card and I got adaptability. And
Ooh.
what thing says more about women and how we handle
Right.
things that are
Our life.
dumped on our plate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, adaptability.
Wow,
So
very
that
powerful.
I was pretty, yeah.
That was
It
cool.
is. It's very powerful. And, you know, we have a lot of women here in the chat, and I have to say, and to the men too, of course, I love you all, because our brothers, there are brothers that support us completely, honestly. But just this network of people that are here uplift us all the time. And I know anytime I need to reach out to any one of you ladies that I can do that. And I feel really comfortable with that. And I feel like our community has become that very foundation of which you speak. So what a great reading. Everybody's is great. I love it. Nancy Jean, what about you, madam?
I'm going to start with the language of flowers, which is probably not
Okay.
and because that goes with my garden. And I pulled Mexican marigold.
Ooh, okay.
And it means renewal, time to begin again, stronger and better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I asked for 3 cards to talk about kind of where we are. And I got the 6 of Fire, which is the 6 of Wands. And she speaks about success, recognition, and self-esteem. That's at the basis. But then I got the 8 of Fire, which right now we're in a period of speed, awakening, and new activities to bring us forward.
Yep.
And then closed out with the Chariot, which is willpower to move forward.
Oh my. Wow. Just a wonderful group of readings.
And then for the cards I use when I create my crystal grids are Sacred Geometry. And I asked Sacred Geometry, what's the most important thing for us to do? And it was realization.
Mm.
And
Wow.
this is the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expressions in the world. So it's not just, I'm going to push it, I'm going to make it in the world. I have to believe in my own heart. I have to realize that I
You do. That's right. Wow. Because it starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything starts with you.
That's right.
Fabulous. All right, Gil, it's your turn.
Last but not least. Okay, so thank you, Ellie, for allowing me to join you.
Oh, of course.
I appreciate all of you. I watch you all the time, Ellie. Kathleen, I love you. You know that. I watch you all the time. I love you as well. I watch you all the time. I think you are the neatest lady. And you actually remind me very much of my mother, and her name was also Sharon. So I don't think it's odd when I keep telling you that I love you. It comes from a good place.
Wait, were you talking to me when you said that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
my God. I love you too.
Thank you. So
Yeah,
I pulled 2 cards, and the first card I pulled is from the Guiding Light Oracle. Now, I just want you to know, I think this is hilarious. I don't know if y'all will be able to see this. So this is the size of Kelly's hand.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, learning to look at the size of this card.
Pretty big.
yeah.
And there is that many of them.
Uh-huh.
So it's a bit of a challenge. Anyhow, I pulled number 50, which is called Reaching Out. Put it up to the camera so you can see what a lovely image that is.
Oh, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
It says it's time for you to reach out and ask for the help that you need. And I personally think that I pulled that card for me because that is what each and every one of you here and everyone in the chat has done for me. You have allowed me to find my power and my voice and my I'm so enjoying my journey with spirit and spirituality, and I'm fascinated by all the things I'm learning, and I just, the support is amazing. So grateful to everyone. And then I pulled from the Native Spirit Oracle deck this card here, which is Tribal Spirit Dancer. And I will hold that up.
Oh, beautiful.
That's
Beautiful imagery. And I do want to read the message for you, which of course I had and then I lost, because that's what I do. Technical difficulties for the newbie at the end.
Yes.
What happens to all of us?
So thank you, Sharon. It has a little bit of a message, but I do believe that that my mother sort of helped me to choose this card. Not unlike many of you, or probably all of you. I'm sorry, I don't know Camp Mama and Valerie that well, but from what I do know about the ladies on the panel here, you're all extremely hardworking. You are extremely loving, and you're extremely giving. And I think the most important thing that we take with us is to find our balance, right? It is hard to
Absolutely.
juggle all of the things that are on our plates, no matter where we are in our life, no matter what stage we're at. We all have things, right? And balance is most important, I think. And so this is the message about the Tribal Spirit Dancer card. Card meaning: let go, say yes to life, be daring, dance till your heart's desire, unfurl your wings and fly, cast aside conventions and restrictions, tune into the rhythm of life, laugh, explore, go beyond your predictable behavior. Sometimes life is messy and chaotic, and that's okay. Leave the dishes, run outside in the sprinklers. Your native spirit wants you to know you are on the planet to be free. You don't always need to meet the expectations of others. You're here to explore, expand, and step into your extraordinary self. Of course, there are times to live an ordinary life, but there are also times to joyfully fling your arms to the heavens and dance. Choose life on your terms. Clear out mental and emotional clutter. Move beyond those situations that you have outgrown. Don't accept the rules you have placed on yourself or that others have placed on you. This is your time. Don't delay. Listening to the rhythm of your heart and following your dreams.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's
Wow.
beautiful.
There was something there that really resonated with me. Something about was it leaving situations that you've outgrown?
Yes.
Yeah, I've had that realization in the last this past month. As I said, I'm a retired teacher, but for the last 2 years, I've been filling in as both a teacher and a learning assistant because they're very, very short of them here.
Right.
So, anyways, I was called in the first day of school this year, and I could have worked, right through. I took 2 weeks off because we had a tragedy in our family, but after that, I've been working like solid. And the thing is, it's all of us. And I love it. I love what I do, but in the last few weeks, like I had to fly out actually here to be with my daughter because she's not well. But in October, it started becoming, I was not enjoying it at all. And yeah, and I know that my time has expired. It's not because I'm older and that kind of stuff. In fact,
You move beyond it.
Even as a learning assistant, I was having teachers having me teach. I thought, I'm not being paid for this,
Right.
but I did it. But I would do it because I love them, and we split up the group, and it was really good for the kids. A math lesson where we both take groups. I don't mind that, but there was one teacher totally incompetent, was basically getting me to do her teaching. Anyways, there was weird things happening. And not just the teachers, but with the students, just some new things. And I thought, I'm too old. Like, excuse me, but fuck this. These kids have entitlement, think they're so entitled, and it's just getting worse and worse.
Yes.
And the thing is, I know I don't have the patience anymore. It's because I have actually moved out of that.
Energy.
I've moved out of that energy.
Yeah.
I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing like full time now.
Yeah.
I used to work
I
in
found the same thing. And I've got deans and everything, these big, it's like
Yes.
corporate America coming in and saying,
Yes.
you didn't log in enough. You didn't do this enough. You didn't. It's
Mhm.
like, let me teach and leave me alone.
Yeah,
But
leave me
no, they
alone.
won't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you know, I was listening to this parking lot chatter of these three moms, and I don't know who the teacher was, but they were being so unreasonable and unkind. And I
Oh.
stepped up and I guess I tore them a new one.
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, I tried
You're
not
such a
to, but I
beast.
did. Huh?
Yeah.
I said, you're
Well-
such a beast.
Oh, well, no, I just very firmly said. I mean,
Yeah.
they said, this person said I was aggressive. Like, this is what she said. She said, oh, and she put my son's name up on the board. She's name shamed him.
Oh my God. Sorry.
Ali,
Yeah.
can you put Tracy Ralph's comment up on the screen?
Yep. This one? Okay. Yep. We are beautiful, smart, kind, interesting, teachers, students, powerful beings, and we have to say this more often. That's right. We are those things.
We are.
The thing that I thought when you read your last comment, I mean, your last card, Kelly, was there were the birds. You saw the birds.
That's right.
And when the birds fly in a formation, they rely on the group to
That's right.
keep their wings uplifted. Is that right, Claudia? You're the science person, isn't that right?
I don't think it uplifted, but it does. It's like also, bicycles.
Aerodynamics?
How,
No?
Yes, how they get behind one so that they reduce the amount of drag.
Work.
And
Work they have to do. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The amount of work they have to do with
Yeah,
their
the
wings.
amount of work. Yeah, so they use less energy.
Yeah.
And they take turns. People, their
Yes,
leader
they
will
do.
move back and the
Move
other
out
one will
and goes to
Yeah.
the back, and then fills in. So it is excellent teamwork.
Yes.
Right.
So
was
that's
just gonna
exactly what it is that we're being told at the very end. All of the things that came out on all of the cards require the teamwork of the
Yeah.
birds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very true.
And they uplift each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have a simple way of explaining things to some people. I say that there's basically two kinds of people in the world. There's always a continuum. There's always a bell-shaped curve. But generally speaking, there are meeples and weeples.
I love that.
The
You've said
meeples,
this and I love it.
yeah, are me and mine. And
Yeah.
the weeples are we and us.
Mhm.
And so weeples understand how the web of life is connected, how all of us are connected, how an injury to one is an injury to all.
Injury to
They
all.
understand that, and so they work toward the greater good. Meeples, not so much. Meeples don't usually give a rat's ass until it affects them.
Right.
And then it's like, holy cow, we got to change this, right?
Yep.
So people who work really well together in groups, not that meeples don't work together in groups, but the dynamic is different. They are working as individual. They are individuals working in a group for something that is not really necessarily for the overarching greater good, as opposed to weeples who are really trying to affect positive change
Right.
in a big way.
Absolutely.
I think everybody here is a weeple because everybody here wants things to be good for everybody,
Yes.
right? And I love this energy. That's why I said to Ali earlier, I'm like, oh my God, I love this tribe because
Absolutely.
that's our focus: love, positivity, affecting positive change. Oh, I kiss you all. It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
It makes me feel so good. I
I'm-
love knowing you're there.
I'm finding that the energy of the everyday world, it really gets me down. Like it didn't.
Oh yeah.
Well, right now it's just I'm going through such a shift.
It's hard.
It's and I when I'm on with you guys or in the chat, I go, oh, there it is. There's
There it
that
is.
energy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when you're sensitive, like all of us are.
Yeah.
It's hard to observe but not absorb. and so you're in that, you're doing a lot of absorbing of that negative crap. And so I know you already know this. You got to pull back out and do some healing of yourself, refocus, recenter, and get back to observing, but not absorbing. So you're aware of what's going on in the world, but you are not taking that shit into you and letting it fester and affect you.
I call it being a neutral observer. That's why my channel is all about that protection and grounding and how to maintain your energy at all times. So
that's awesome.
What is your channel, Valerie?
Knock you over. I just changed the name to Illumination Portal. No one can
that's
find
pretty.
And what was it before?
UCU. It was the initials UCU, but nobody could find it.
Yeah, it was hard to find your channel. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down.
Thank you. But yeah, that's all I talk about, because it is so you can see the division, the split in humanity. That low vibration is really putting it on everybody. And so to maintain that high vibration and to be above that is pretty much, you got to stay on it every moment, and
you do.
Yeah.
And
it's not easy.
No, it's not easy, but it's okay. Once you learn some tools that you can
you can move back into it quickly.
Yeah. I get pissed off a lot. God, I can't even look at the news. I can't,
I don't.
It's been 11 months and we still have no
I know.
Nothing,
But you know what I always say? It's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Yeah.
So,
yes, exactly.
Are you from Oklahoma?
As
Everybody
a person
says that here.
who writes legally sufficient documents, I have to tell you that I know we're wanting Merrick Garland et al. to start locking people up. But listen, if we rush it,
have the evidence.
If we rush it, we can fuck it up. We need to have the empirical data.
Exactly.
It needs to be watertight. And in order to do 100%. That, he's needing to take his time. I would so much rather have him do an airtight study or report or whatever, and actually be able to bring to fruition what we really want, as opposed to the immediate satisfaction of somebody going to jail for 2 months and then they're out because they didn't do it right.
I think it's great that Trump is squirming.
Well,
he's squirming big time.
But you guys realize no one was indicted for Watergate for the first 18 months.
Yeah.
It was 18 months into it before they all went down. They all went to jail. They all got caught.
Yeah.
I talked to John Dean. I was running a book signing he was doing, and I talked to him about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time he was in jail, he really wasn't in jail. The whole time he was in jail, because he went first, he was over at the federal building telling them about why they should get all the rest of them in jail. And he said, there is someone like that out there
doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, we should mention there's a lot of women that work with him in the DOJ, and a lot of brilliant women. So, that's going to be an important thing.
Yeah. And of course, Trump would take every opportunity, like Cat Mama was saying, to, appeal and, look for a loophole.
Oh, well, let him run. Let him, he doesn't have any money anyway, but lead him dry.
Do it right the first time. And I learned that, it's really important when you put all this energy into something and not do it right.
Exactly.
I'm so glad he was stupid. You have no idea.
He's a stupid man.
I know that's true. Nancy worked in the political arena for many, many years. So, ladies, I want to know. I mean, we only covered one question, and when we have a large group of women or people together, that can happen, and it's okay. It's all okay, because it's all what it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
But if you want to come back and do this again, we should do
Absolutely.
it. I love working with you all, and we could ask. You could bring questions. I don't have to use my questions every time, but it was a way of getting started. I think.
Well, how about I invite you all to the first.
Sure, we'd love that.
Sure.
I'm speaking for everybody, but and I'll let you know when the address is so that you can get a hold of me.
So email Allie. She's got my personal email now, and I'll get in touch with you guys.
That would be awesome.
Okay.
And
would be
and
neat.
then I'd love you all to come back here again because I'd like Sophie to be here with us. She's
Oh,
wonderful
yes.
as well. You know?
Yes, and another Canadian.
So
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, there was one thing I really laughed out loud when I was watching that series, The Morning Show. It was a joke that was being told on the airplane, and the person was saying, so
Get a bird.
in the US, you know, something went mechanically wrong with a pool. You know, people are in a public pool. If you ask them to get out of the pool, they would say "fuck off."
Right.
Whereas but in Canada, you just ask them to get out of the pool, and that's just fine.
Just because Canadians are nice.
yes.
You know, that's probably why the kid yelled out "duty" in that movie. That remember somebody threw a Snickers bar or something into the pool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Caddyshack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I forget
Was
that
that Christmas Vacation?
Yeah.
Or
No, I think it was Caddyshack or something, wasn't it? It was Bill Murray. I know that.
It was so
He's
funny.
yeah, it's very true. That's how an American is, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
why.
just wanted
Well,
to
the
say,
country. I mean, this is a whole opening up a whole new
I know.
words.
Yeah, and you
No,
know
but
what?
you were
It
based
just turned
on
negative
Rebels.
too. I felt the energy shift right there. It doesn't feel good anymore.
No.
Oh no,
We
no.
need
Okay,
to-
we'll get away from that. But anyways, no,
Yeah.
it was just funny. I was just, Sophie's a Canadian. That's great. She'll
Yeah,
be
another
on-
Canadian. See,
Give it
yeah.
slap.
Yeah. And by the way,
We're taking
What
over
to say,
here.
Kathleen?
it's
Kathleen, did
changing.
you have-
we have our souls up here too. It is
Mm.
changing.
Yeah, we do.
So I just
Yeah.
wanted to let you know I pulled one of these
Oh, the
power
Pelicans?
animal
Yeah.
oracle cards. It's the
Yeah.
pelican,
Yeah.
who is stands for forgiveness, and it says, "Let go of your judgments."
Oh, so we
that's
need
a
to
good
do that.
card.
Yeah, we don't want that energy shift to come back. It's
Yeah.
hard to do.
And I
It's hard
felt
not to bring it
I
up.
felt it happening, and it's
Mhm.
interesting that I had happened to pull the
Yeah.
pel. So
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's okay because we learn from those things.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
yeah, totally.
Kathleen, did you have something you were trying to say?
oh, well, I was just wanting to tell Kelly that I really, really, really am absolutely over the moon that
Me too.
you are coming on and I get to see
thank
you,
you.
and I feel so
Aw.
proud that I
That's
got
so
to
kind.
see you.
Thank you.
Kelly has gone through quite a transformation. If you go over to see her channel, she's done some forgiveness release, and she's done a lot of other things. And I'm extremely proud of Kelly. She's just blossoming. So
Aw.
thank
Kelly,
you
do
so
you
much.
really have a dozen
Kelly.
cats?
No, she don't.
No.
Why not?
Listen, if I could have 12 cats, I would have to be divorced. So I made a compromise. I have 12 paws and 3 cats.
There you go.
That's
There
where
you
you go.
Oh,
Yeah, Sherry was invited to come. Sherry, Voices from the Swamp. She had something to do, and I told her we were almost done today. So she will be invited as well.
Oh, great.
She's another
Oh,
apprentice.
I-
She will love you.
Yeah,
I was going to
love
say, am I
this.
the only newbie here? The only rube? The only?
well, I'm new.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
So listen, while I have you all here, I just want to say again, thank you so much, Ellie. And who wants to teach me how to read tarot cards?
I can.
I'll teach
I
you.
have,
Kathleen
I
can
have,
too. Yeah,
I have the
Nancy
whole
can.
curriculum.
Yeah, they all can. Yeah.
That's so
Kathleen?
sweet.
Now they know
I'm
you, and
sending you an email.
Yeah,
Yeah.
send me. It's crystaldirections.nancyjean@gmail.com. I have all the paperwork for you. I can just send you the PDFs, and we can
Oh,
talk
wow.
about them.
Awesome.
Have heard
And
it.
Nancy Jean,
Have heard
I'm going
Have heard
to your email from Allie, if that's okay, because I
Yeah.
want to contact you about making a crystal grid for my nieces for
Oh, sure.
Christmas, if it's not too late.
No. If you get in now, please get in now because the making
Yeah.
takes it's almost a 2-week process. So
Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay.
It's
I
a
don't
wonderful.
have a whole drawer full behind me somewhere. I promise you. At this
Ladies,
point, I
it
wish
was
you-
a great
I was-
experiment. And
I just want to say one thing. I drew a card before we started, and I think
Oh,
it's
yes.
apropos to end with this card, and that
that's
is
fine. You do it.
breathe.
You're doing great,
Breathe.
Kaya.
Yes.
Breathe. I love breathing.
Breathe.
Breathing. I have empathy.
Breath.
Oh,
We all can breathe.
and you have empathy and breathe.
Breathing is so
Nice.
important.
And I
Yeah.
had pulled forgiveness. So
Awesome.
And I have great love for all of you and admiration, and I thank you for agreeing to come on even at the last minute today and help
Oh, I love
Kathleen and I get this thing launched. And
I loved
Sophie, if you're watching, we love you. You'll be with us. And Sherry will bring you along. No worries. All right. And we'll be in touch with all of you. I'll let Sharon know, and we'll be on her first show, I guess. Yeah. There you go. All right.
Yep.
Thank you so
I
much.
like
everybody.
Thank you, ladies.
Lovely to
Thank
see. Lovely to
Thank
meet
you,
meet
everyone.
and be
Nice
with
to
you.
meet everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Very nice.
Bye.
Thank you, those in the chat. We love you. Thanks, Libra Lady.